At 21, Barry Minkow owned half of a company worth more than $200 million. Almost all of its biggest jobs were imaginary. Minkow had spent years building the perfect American success story. He started a carpet cleaning company called Z'd Best at 15, cleaning carpets from his parents' garage in Reseda, California. The business was real. It had customers, equipment, employees, and television commercials. And its teenage founder knew how to sell more than clean carpets. He sold himself as proof that ambition could beat age and experience. By his early 20s, Minkow had appeared on national television and received a commendation from the mayor of Los Angeles. It promised dependable service from an honest young entrepreneur. But behind that image, his company repeatedly ran short of cash. Between late 1984 and early 1985, the company placed $72,000 in unauthorized charges on customer credit cards. The business later repaid the charges and blamed subcontractors. The problem looked contained. It was not. The carpet cleaning operation could create the appearance of growth, but not the profits Minkow wanted the world to see. The solution was a second business that sounded far more lucrative. The company claimed it was restoring office buildings damaged by fires and floods. These were large insurance jobs worth millions of dollars. On paper, they transformed a local carpet cleaner into a corporate powerhouse. In reality, the restoration division was virtually entirely fictitious. A company called Interstate Appraisal Services appeared to assign and verify the projects. Thomas Paget operated Interstate. Mark Moores helped create the invoices, ledgers, checks, and other records that made the work look real. The documents formed a closed circle. The firm claimed it had completed the work, and Interstate appeared to confirm it. The deception did not stay on paper. When accountants and lawyers wanted to inspect projects, Minkow's associates arranged staged visits. For one inspection, they presented an 18-story building in Sacramento as the site of a $7 million job. His company was not restoring that building, yet the visitors were required to treat its location as confidential and avoid follow-up calls to the owner, contractors, or insurance companies. What sounded like business secrecy prevented independent verification. This manufactured revenue opened doors that the real carpet business could not. The business became publicly traded in January 1986 through a merger with a Utah shell corporation. Then, in December, a securities offering brought in about $13.2 million. Its financial information was supported by the fictional restoration business. Investors were not simply trusting a teenager from a garage. They saw a public company surrounded by accountants, lawyers, investment firms, bank lenders, board members, offices, and more than 1,000 employees. Each visible layer of legitimacy made the next one easier to accept. By January 1987, it reported $33.3 million in revenue for the previous 9 months. 89% supposedly came from insurance restoration. Its stock climbed from around $4 to more than $18. Minkow controlled roughly 52% of the shares. At the peak, his stake was worth more than $100 million on paper. The image became self-reinforcing. Rising shares made the company look successful. Its public status made the restoration contracts seem credible. Those contracts supported more loans and investment. New money helped the company expand the visible parts of the business to 21 offices across 3 states. The evidence of success was everywhere. The evidence of profit was not. The first public crack appeared on May 22, 1987. The Los Angeles Times documented the earlier credit card charges through interviews with multiple customers and industry investigators. The story did not expose the restoration fraud. It gave investors and financial professionals a reason to look again. The next trading day, the stock fell from $15.37.5 to $11.12.5. More than 1 million shares changed hands. Minkow responded with preliminary claims of at least $50 million in annual revenue and more than $5 million in profit. The figures were unaudited. Then the professional support around the company began to disappear. Drexel Burnham Lambert stopped advising the company on a proposed $25 million acquisition. Ernst & Whinney resigned as auditor on June 2nd after receiving information that some restoration work might be fictitious. The board started its own investigation. The structure that had amplified trust now worked in reverse. On July 2nd, Minkow resigned, officially citing health problems. 6 days later, the business entered Chapter 11 bankruptcy. A company recently valued above $200 million had about $30,000 in cash when its bankruptcy trustee arrived. Creditor claims reached roughly $36 million. 15 offices closed, between 200 and 300 employees lost their jobs, and investors were left holding shares with virtually no value. Investigators found a restoration business built from fictional projects, stage locations, and records designed to confirm one another. Minkow eventually admitted that about 90% of the restoration jobs did not exist, but argued at trial that organized crime figures had forced him to participate. The jury rejected that defense. On December 14, 1988, it found him guilty on all 57 counts. In March 1989, a federal judge sentenced him to 25 years in prison and ordered $26 million in restitution. Minkow was released in 1995 after serving about 7.5 years. He later reinvented himself as a pastor and fraud investigator. Then he was convicted in 2 separate cases involving securities fraud and the theft of more than $3 million from his church and its members. The Z-Best scandal is often remembered as the story of a teenage con man. But that explanation is too comfortable. Minkow supplied the lies. The financial system supplied the credibility. A real business concealed a fictional one. Professional approval turned invented revenue into real money. And the question left behind is not how a 21-year-old could tell such an enormous lie. It is why so many experienced people accepted conditions that kept them from checking whether the buildings, contracts, and profits existed at all.